Hello everybody, and my turn here, this time bringing you a review after 140 months from the Ashes, ahead of the release of its sequel later this month, which I also plan on covering, but I wanted to check out the first title first, of course. From the Ashes is often referred to as Dark Souls, with guns, and has a big emphasis on cooperations in many cases. But beyond just those descriptions, it's also a game that focuses on procedural generation, almost hack and slash style of gameplay, where you are killing enemies, pulling up loot, advancing your character just to dive into the next procedurally generated bit of content to do more of the same, and we will discuss all of that over the course of the review. But right out of the gate, I review games after so many time to set me apart from other reviewers on the platform. And while that does include the achievements, it also includes a lot more than that. If you are curious about everything I cover, there is a video linked in the description below that will go over it, and my old profile as well. With that out of the way, Remnant from the Ashes was a game from 2019, which paced me by at the time, as I was still working my regular salary job before I started YouTube full-time, while the game softened by it. The Dark Souls with guns, for me, I would say it's mostly more of an action adventure until you start getting into the higher difficulties, at which point it kind of more lives up to that title. But on normal and even hard, it's more of Souls-like, as somebody put it on my impressions video, where it copies some of the mechanics of Souls-like game, but the combat does not really feel that. Wait until you start ramping up the difficulty. But first things first, when you fire up the game, you will make a character that is cosmetics imply picking the visual appearances of the character you are going to be playing and looking at for the next while, as all of the major character progressions choices come later on, but there is a cosmetic character creation. Next up is difficulties. Raw difficulty comes in normal, so Apocalypse is very much so adjustable. You are not meant to stick with one difficulty the entire time, but rather each bit of content, so to speak, is rolled as they like to put it, which includes the campaign, the DLC, adventure mode, survival mode, and every time you fire up one of these, you will be able to pick up one of these difficulties. It's important to know that Nightmare and Apocalypse are not meant to be a starting point. They was intended for geared characters, people who have a functional build and potentially even playing with other people. You are mean to start the game on normal and hard, get a character going, get all that gear and everything, and then start playing on the hard tires once you have sort of got a bit of system history going. So I think that's important to note. Next up, so we have the story set up for this game. Reminded from the Ashes takes place in a sort of fantasy post-apocalyptic settings. The world has been destroyed by an evil menace called Roots, and bastions of humanity are doing their best to survive. In the face of such cataclysmic events, as part of the main campaign, playing our character comes into contact with one such bastion, where we'll engage with a story that puts us the road to addressing this. Thread this is done by gaining access to a sort of keystone that allows us to teleport to other parts of the worlds and other worlds in general, which leads us to a lot of more alien-style biomes. And to keep it spoiler-free, that's really all you need to know. You are going to go on this adventure, try to find the cause of the root, what you can do about it, usual stuff. But beyond just the basic information, something that I like it here, where the actual narrative for a more Souls-like style game was pretty clear, like you always kind of know you are doing and why you are doing it. What the game does really well um, um, is actually hiding the sort of background lore. It's there if you want to find it, but every places you go to almost invariably has small lore. Then you can discover that will tell you more about the world. You are on the races, you are encountering the spaces of aliens, you are running into all that stuff. So they did a really good job with building out the rest of the story without necessarily directly putting it in your face, which I think suits this style of gameplay very well. Now on the flip side of the side story is very short. My first playthrough of the story took about 10 hours. Now this is the kind of game that you are going to be playing through multiplied times, and the content later becomes almost sort of dungeon runs, so that's not necessarily a huge deal. But if you are playing this game especially for the story, it's very short, and I think that's only really becomes in common. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel, and I see you soon.